Well, we know that Danielson did not return to WWE, but over the weekend, AJ Lee did. This past Friday night, she returned on SmackDown. Maybe one of the worst kept secrets in wrestling, but it got a lot of commentary all over social media, including our YouTube channel. JR and I have a free YouTube for you at grillingjr.com. And we've actually got our YouTube comment of the week. Jim, this comes to us from at @themark388, who says, I was there for her return Friday night and the pop was incredible. We all knew it would happen, but damn, it was special. WWE always pulls out the stops when they come to Chicago. They were at the former Allstate Arena. I don't know what it's called now, but it used to be called the Rosemont Horizon. I mean, it's one of the more famous buildings in wrestling history. I think Stone Cold Steve Austin has been on record as saying it was his favorite. He didn't like playing the outdoor stadiums or domes. He felt like the sound could just escape. Mm-hmm. But the acoustics in that building, with it being a wooden ceiling, the sound just bounces all over the place. It certainly added a lot to his WrestleMania 13 match with Bret Hart. Where do you rank that building as far as the acoustics and the environment and just the crowd? Is it top 5, top 10? Where would it land on your list?
Well, it's top 5 in my list. Some of my best work has been in that venue. So it's a great place to perform, great place to ply your trade. No doubt about that.
Let's also talk a little bit about AJ's return. Did you get to know AJ at all in WWE? I know you guys were only there together for a little while.
Yeah. She's a unique person and she's kind of quiet, a little bit reserved, but she's a great student of the game, and I'm glad that she's back. I didn't see it. I was out with my friends going to our annual pre-OU dinner at this Italian place there in Norman. So I didn't see her return, but I read about it, and it seemed like it was very well received. She's a very talented young woman, no doubt about that, and she's still a young woman.
I do want to ask, about the reaction. I mean, she got a superstar reaction, but I'm curious how many of these fans are longtime fans and they're just getting a superstar reaction because they know, respectfully, that she was a wrestler and this is CM Punk's wife and we're getting to maybe a mixed tag situation. There's a lot to be excited about, but I guess what I'm driving at is she was gone for 10 years. And I'm wondering, when you look back over your wrestling career, how many times or how often do you think the audience sort of turns over? I don't mean to assume that there aren't any fans that are watching now that were watching 10 years ago. I'm sure a large portion were, but turnover with a wrestling audience, is that, because we've always heard the term, hey, the wrestling business is cyclical. Well, that means fans come and go. Right. Is that life cycle 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years? Do you have a best practice on that for how often it turns over?
Not really, Conrad. It just depends on the situation. And, like in AJ Lee's case, she's still in great shape, which I think is very admirable for somebody that's not been on the road or been in the ring or what have you. She was prepared. And I have a lot of respect for her for what she's doing. It's just good stuff.
It is exciting that she's back. I'm excited that, fans get to see her return. I know my daughter is a huge AJ Lee fan. She was on cloud 9 with her return, but I do know that turnover is a real thing. And I think it's probably happened even with AEW. I mean, AEW is only 6 months old or 6 years old now at this point, but it does feel like you've probably had some fans who weren't watching 6 years ago who've joined, and maybe some fans who were watching back then and maybe they've moved on from wrestling. Like, I know I can speak from my experience. I felt like I sort of grew out of it. I was a fan as a little kid and then quit watching and then got back as a teenager and then quit watching again. And I just feel like a lot of fans are like that. Like sometimes they're more passionate about baseball or basketball or any of those other things that we can all share fandom in. But I've never heard anybody put a number on it, despite all these years. We all say, oh, it's cyclical, but how many years does that really mean? Do you think that there's been turnover with the AEW fan base? Is 6 years enough time?
I think so. Okay. Yeah, I think so. It's a long time, actually. And you just got to keep giving the fans things that are fresh and new. You got to build your stars. You got to give people a chance to grow into their superstar role. And it won't take long for AJ to be back in that superstar level, in my view. She's a great asset. And her being married to CM Punk doesn't hurt her. It's a good rub, shall we say. So I'm glad she's back. I'm glad she's back. She's good for the fans. And so, more power to her.
No doubt about that. More power to her. I do want to ask one more thing about AJ's return. What we're going to see here is essentially a heel couple and a babyface couple. We know that Becky and Seth are going to be the heel side of that equation, and Punk and AJ are going to be the babyface answer. Once upon a time, way back when in the territory days, that almost felt like a no-no. Like, I think I've heard that if you had a handsome, good-looking, popular with the ladies babyface, the last thing you wanted to do is acknowledge that he was married or him wear a wedding ring or any of that sort of stuff. When do you remember that changing, or has it changed?
It's changed to some degree. I don't know. I can't put a date on it or an era, but it's been somewhat recently. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool for her, and obviously she's made a commitment to get herself in great shape. She's got a wonderful personality. She's got a great mind to pick his brain and talking about her husband. He's a real student of the game. Probably going to be a great booker someday. So I think it's a move for the best. As we say here on the show, high tide raises all ships, and that was a nice moment for WWE. Nice moment, and I'm glad that it's working out for everybody. Like I said, I didn't get to see it live. I wish I had have, but I was out with friends, and in our, it's been a long time since I've been in Oklahoma, and I had these commitments with my buddies and their spouses and so forth. So it's a good deal. It's a good scenario. You just wonder where the next big surprise like that is going to come from.
Well, I, for one, am excited that AJ Lee is back. Can't wait to see what they do next. I think Seth and Becky have been on an incredible run. I can't get enough of this Seth and Punk feud. And I know that fans online have been a little frustrated with it at times, but as Bruce would say, adding the ladies into the equation adds a fresh paint of coat, I think he would call it.
SaveWithConrad.com.
My name's Daryl. Came from Massachusetts and I moved to Wisconsin. And there's a lot of people that might be asking, why go with Conrad? Why go with Supreme Lending? And let me tell you something, brother. I think about the credentials, the tag team partner that I'd be working with. First of all, we got the podfather himself, Conrad. How can you go wrong with that? And then also go on to SaveWithEric.com, which, who else could have kicked Vince's ass for 83 consecutive weeks? You can't beat that duo right there. But they did bring a secret weapon, and I didn't realize this because this was not advertised. I worked closely with Larry the Axe Thompson. And let me tell you, with all the stress with moving across the country with a large family that I have, it was reassuring to know that I had the enforcer at my back, handling questions from the other side of sellers, the other side with trying to find the right prices. He took care of all that. All I had to do was keep my eye on the prize and make it there to Wisconsin. They were absolutely fantastic. They checked in on me, especially Francis, very patient with me. I don't go through this process all the time, so I trusted the experts. I was able to call them. They called me if they had questions, and it felt like it was a personal arrangement. There was even a point in which, from the seller side, they wanted something else that wasn't part of the norm. Francis straight up told me, hey, we're loyal to you. We'll do whatever you want to do, and we'll make sure that you guys are taken care of. They came through. I made it to the dream. I'm the champion of my own destiny here. They were able to help pave the way for me and my family. I couldn't be more happy with the results. I went from having less than an acre to now 20 acres worth of land. They made that dream a reality. I'm Daryl, and I'm living in Friendship, Wisconsin, in my dream home, thanks to SaveWithConrad.com.
Animal lesson number 212, non-equal housing lender. SaveWithConrad.com.